Marissa Marcel was a bona fide movie star who only appeared in 3 films. She shot to fame as an unknown with 1968's Ambrosio,
Take 1.
then retreated from the spotlight after a tragic accident on the set of her second unfinished film, Minsky. Finally, she returned to the screen with her swan song, 2 of Everything, in the late 90s.
Action.
In Sam Barlow's game Immortality, a disorganised collection of clips from these fictional films, as well as rehearsals, behind-the-scenes footage and publicity materials around them, are presented to the player. Immortality is the latest in a long line of games using full motion video technology, also known as FMV. Although these games have spanned a range of genres, it's typically associated with point-and-click adventure games, often termed interactive fiction, whose linearity and large amounts of dialogue make them ideal for the scripted nature of FMV.
Hey, stay away from me, nitwit.
The technique was originally pioneered as a way of bringing more lifelike graphics into a world of gaming that, up until then, had largely involved pixelated blobs. This technology drew the interest of Hollywood, who saw it as an opportunity to bring their expertise to the rapidly growing games industry. Movie and TV tie-in games were common, like Bram Stoker's Dracula or, well, Hulk Hogan's sentient boat TV show Thunder in Paradise.
You know, it's like it's television, but it's interactive.
There's a specific texture to most of these games that can only be produced with a potent mix of shoddy blue screen work and pre-rendered backgrounds that will be instantly recognizable to anyone who grew up playing these in the early 90s.
This isn't real!
Immortality's improvements on the technique go far beyond its capable pastiching of different films and styles, which replace the singular feel of 90s FMV with well-honed homages to Black Narcissus, Cruising, and Mulholland Drive. The real difference between Immortality and its 90s brethren is less about filmmaking and more about gameplay. In traditional FMV games, the player is presented with a linear narrative, and gameplay consists of making choices about what happens next.
Control, you gotta help us. Please trap that big hog by the back door so we can get out of here. Kelly, what if they're not there? We just have to trust that they are making it.
In game design terms, this is the gameplay loop, the chief mechanism through which players interact with the game. But this interaction isn't very interactive. The choices presented here are mostly surface level, and even somewhat different paths typically dovetail further down the line. This gameplay loop has persisted even in the latest interactive fiction games. Immortality, and by extension Barlow's previous games like Her Story and Telling Lies, offer a different vision of FMV gameplay. While there is a linear narrative that the players can access and interact with, they don't get to change events or outcomes. Instead, the gameplay is piecing together the narrative itself. In Immortality's opening minutes, the player is presented with a single clip of Marissa Marcel on a late-night TV show. By pausing and zooming into elements, new clips are unlocked, encouraging the viewer to draw associations between images and investigate with the moviola-like controls. Immortality invites the player to get directly involved in the flow of footage, controlling its order of presentation and pursuing their own interests within the story. It's that sense of agency which is Immortality's greatest strength, and one which makes it all the more disturbing when, an hour in, certain reversed clips start to show a radically different character, whose intrusions into the film add a new layer of meaning to the game precisely by stripping agency from the player. It's also worth noting that underneath Immortality's gameplay innovations, it also trumps the earlier FMV games in one key detail. For all Hollywood's initial excitement over FMV, their interest in bringing filmmaking to the game industry meant ignoring gameplay itself. Although some recent films have shown intriguing signs of incorporating gameplay elements. In contrast, Immortality's clever gameplay is used to deliver a fascinating critique of filmmaking. The changing eras depicted allow Barlow and co. to play with shifting filmmaking techniques, including a priceless take on motion capture.
I look like a mime fell in a ball pit.
Behind the artifice of the films themselves, young starlet Marissa is preyed upon by director Arthur Fisher.
Sophia, Marissa, your job is to be looked at. Let us try.
Before encouraging her own unsafe practices on the set of Minsky, navigating the developing sexual politics of the film industry. In this regard, Immortality succeeds where the original FMV games couldn't, in bringing the complexity of Hollywood into the gaming medium.